Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking.
You're very welcome.
You seem so cordial. What is going on? I'm not sure if I can trust you. You're just a little too nice to me. Did you spit in my coffee or something?
No.
What's going on over here?
How do you know of?
Okay. Well, I've got a great guest coming up later in the program. Gentleman we talk to about once a month. His name is Jordan Goodman. You may know him as America's Money Answers Man. I've seen him on many different television programs. You'll be flipping through the channels and go, whoa, what's that? That's Jordan. I know this guy. We talk to him about once a month, always about something to do with finances. And I'm going to suspect, since we're getting close to the end of the school year, we're going to probably talk about school debt. That's one of his favorite topics. He's actually written the book on school debt, and we're going to be talking about student loans and that. So we'll be chatting with Jordan coming up in a bit. I got a quote for you from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He's a poet. Did you know it?
Okay.
Yes. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Very nice.
I like that. It's like
I like that.
It's good stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, May the 23rd. It is National Lucky Penny Day. Do you have a lucky penny?
No, but I do have a 4-leaf clover in my wallet.
Now, where does one go about getting a 4-leaf clover? You went and found it and picked it, or you bought it somewhere?
No, I had a foreign exchange student from Brazil that lived with me years ago, and she
Paula
gave it to me.
Wow, that was nice.
And so I laminated it, and it's been with me ever since.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And I've got National Taffy Day today. Do you like taffy?
Yeah, sometimes.
taffy.
Not very often.
Tell you what, when I was a kid, they had this thing called Laffy Taffy. Got all my best jokes from that.
Yeah, I can tell.
I lost
remember
a tooth.
making saltwater taffy with my great-grandmother.
I lost a tooth eating some Laffy Taffy. It was banana, the yellow.
I like the yellow.
And
That's
I bit
my
down
favorite.
into a piece of it and went, pulled it out. I had a loose tooth, and there it was sticking out of the taffy. I was like, well,
I do like homemade saltwater taffy. That is very, very, very good.
today would be a good day to celebrate. And one last thing on the list, Emergency Medical Services for Children Day as well. So all of those things happening on this Wednesday, the 23rd day of May.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, an Indiana woman was arrested after she injected her husband with a lethal dose of heroin. And then it gets worse. You'd think that's bad. Then she served his remains to unsuspecting neighbors at a barbecue. What the what? This happened in Indiana. That is just bizarre. Yeah. I got a link to that story if you want to read all about it.
Oh, my gosh.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Can you imagine being one of the neighbors?
I wonder how they found that out.
I don't know, but wouldn't it be awful to find that out? Like, hey, remember the other day we were over there? You were saying that sure was good barbecue? That was Bob. That would just be terrible.
I wonder how they found that out. I need to know, because if I ever try to recreate that
you
experience.
would not do that. Come on. Heidi, she talks tough. She'd never do that. She loves me so much. She would never, ever. She's got a recipe book in front of her right now. This is not good. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. It was reported last weekend that a Florida man was arrested during the PGA tournament, the Players' Championship, after he drunkenly slapped a random kid.
Oh!
25-year-old Connor Augustin, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, he was charged with 2 counts of child neglect and battery. According to deputies, he was drunk at the Wine and Dine on 9 area, which is kind of a neat idea. It's an area next to the 9th hole. The police report that he approached a pair of 13-year-old kids and then insulted them. He reportedly pushed one of the kids and slapped another. He walked away when adults approached, but deputies quickly located him. According to the records, he's on bond after spending the night at the county jail. There was also a story about a golfer whose wife attacked him at this same exact tournament. Golf is supposed to be so calming.
Heck of a tournament. I kind of wish I had watched that one.
She threatened him, and I didn't read the story because I didn't know who it was. It was in the sports section. We never read sports, but I just said...
we never read anything.
We do too. But I'm saying the sports section, I don't ever read that on here because I don't know these people. But some golfer, his wife was threatening him. She was going to hurt him if he didn't win.
And the person who slapped a 13-year-old was also a golfer?
No, he was just a
spectator.
There. He was 25. You'd think you'd know better. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Kristen Stewart walked out on the red carpet with no shoes on at the Cannes Film Festival to, are you ready for this? To protest the ban on flat shoes. So apparently at Cannes Film Festival, you have to wear high heels. You can't wear flats. So she said, I'm not going to wear high heels. I'm not going to wear flats.
That's a protest I can get behind. I agree with her.
Barefoot. Now, I got to say something.
Unless the men have to wear heels, too. I think that's
I got to say something.
Garbage.
I was involved in a fundraiser where I had to wear high heels. Remember this thing?
Oh, yes, I remember.
And I can tell you, ladies,
it was miserable
very
for you.
uncomfortable, and men do not appreciate them nearly enough. If you're not comfortable, don't do that. Don't put yourself through that. Because here's the thing I can tell you. 42 years old, I've never noticed a woman's shoes and said, I love your shoes. Maybe I should pay closer attention.
Women don't wear high heels for men. They wear them for women.
I'm just saying. Tanya Harding's back in the news. She advanced into the Dancing with the Stars finals. I'm not sure when that was. Was that yesterday? Was that a week ago?
I don't know.
Was that last year? We're not watching that show. So I always try to be careful not to, do any spoiler alerts, but I think we're pretty safe. This was in my notes for the Monday show, I think. Pretty sure. Anyway, this has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day brought to you by 49bydesign.com. An asteroid flew by Earth last week. Did you know this?
I did not.
28,655 miles per hour. Zoomed right past. And at one point, Heidi, this asteroid was closer to our planet than the moon. It was close.
Well, maybe that's what I saw when I thought I was seeing a shooting star. Because I said I've never seen one that close before, and it was so bright, and it had a really long tail.
It could have been
maybe
this
that's
asteroid.
what I saw.
I don't know. Anyway, it flew right past. And
was it last Friday?
It doesn't say what day it was. It just says last week. So I don't know. Huh. I'm not sure when it was.
I bet that's what I saw.
Well, I think that a lot of those are like in groups. So maybe you just saw his little brother. Who knows?
That could be. I don't know.
I have no clue. I don't pretend to be an astronomer or astronaut
is riveting radio.
Or geographer or whatever, biographer. I don't know. I don't even know who it is that studies these things. Astronomer, I think. Wouldn't it be?
I believe so, yes.
Isn't it astronomy that's studying astronomy? I think that's okay, we're moving on. The Gap, the clothing store, The Gap,
yes,
apologized for selling shirts that had an incorrect map of China on them.
Oh.
So, you know how they got caught?
No.
Because the guys that were making the shirts were like, this isn't even close. Made in China. It says on the front it's China. It's not China. Whose China is this? So the Gap, they no longer sell the shirts, but they had an incorrect map of China on the shirts. Get a link to the story if you want to see that. I wonder if those shirts will be worth more money now because they were wrong. Like, there were some maps out there that forgot, like, a major city, and I remember those maps were being...
I don't know if it's possible for something to be worth more than what they sell it at the Gap.
Why, is it expensive at the Gap?
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea. I don't shop.
Yeah, I know. We don't shop there.
Hey, speaking of... Well, I'm not saying... Not even there. I don't shop anywhere, so... I'm not throwing Gap under the bus. I don't know. I don't do that. I'm very fortunate to be married to you. I'm very well taken care of.
Yes, you are.
I open my drawer, and there's, like, magically clothes in there. I'm like, where did these come from? And you say, hey, don't worry, just wear them. They'll look good on you. And they might even fit, fatty. Try them on. Let's see. She gets mad because we'll go to a store, and I won't try things on. I'll hold up. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. And she's like, try it on. I'm like, I don't want to try it on.
Yeah, and then we get it home, and then nothing fits you. And you're like, you need to buy clothes for the husband you have, not for the husband you wish you had. I'm like, well, if you would try stuff on...
hey, we were talking about China.
Let's change that subject.
You got us way off track. We were talking about China and this incorrect map of China. While we're on the subject of China, and let's not veer back off, there's a family in China that adopted a dog, and then 2 years later they realized it was not a dog. They've had this thing for 2 years. Guess what it was?
I think I read this. It's a bear?
A bear. How did they think this was a dog?
Yeah.
They adopted a dog that turned out to be...
We sure have to clip his toenails a lot.
I don't know. He sure has gotten big. They said it was a poodle, but it's a very big poodle. I have no idea what kind of dog they thought it was. When I was a kid, we had a chow dog. And I've seen chows where they get kind of big, and they almost look like a bear. Ours was like a golden-colored one, and my dad gave it a haircut, so it looked like it was a lion.
Yeah.
And there was a report that there was a lion on the loose when it got out. So, and that was a chow dog. So maybe that's what this was. And I think we've got room maybe for just one more thing. A Wallet Hub study found that the house where you live has a massive impact on your happiness. Really, Wallet Hub? We needed to do a study to find out if I have a better house, I might be happier, and if I have a not-so-great house, I might not be as happy. I'm not exactly sure what you guys are doing there at Wallet Hub headquarters, but that study was probably not necessary.
I do agree with it.
Well, I agree with it, too.
Obviously, we've lived in some things where it's been
But did they need a study for that?
But I will say, I think it's more about the people that you are there with.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than the actual building itself.
There you go. Let's end on that note. Coming up, we've got a really great gentleman we're going to chat with. His name is Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers Man. He's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. About once a month, we pick up the phone and we reach out to a very smart man by the name of Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers Man, and we see him all the time on television answering questions and helping people when there are things going on in the economy. And we get to do that once a month as well, and we've got him on the line right now. Jordan, how are you doing, sir?
Great to be with you again, John.
Always a pleasure to visit. And I know we talked a little bit ahead of time before we went on the program, and so I kind of know what we're going to talk about. As we're getting close to graduation, there are a lot of different people that put themselves in a whole bunch of debt when they take off and go to school. So do you kind of have some ideas? I think you wrote a book about this, didn't you?
I did. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans. And you're right. I mean, we have all the graduations going on here in May, and the average person is graduating with $38,000 in student debt, John. Just amazing. $38,000 is the average. And some people, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 undergraduate. And then if you add graduate school, medical school, law school, business school, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on top of that before they get their first job. It's pretty staggering out there.
Well, and I talked to a person within the last month who has a master's degree, just graduated or just graduating with a master's degree, and it's triple digits that they spent to get that. So hopefully they get to get that all paid off somehow now.
Well, it's not easy. So it's changing society because people, in many cases, just can't afford to service their student loans and buy a car, rent an apartment, kind of get on with their life. Over 50% of the people graduating this year are going to go back and live at home again.
Oh, my goodness.
The reality. You know, you thought it was the empty nest syndrome. No, it's the boomerang generation. They keep coming back at you, basically, is what's happening.
So what are some things that we could do to maybe help make that not happen in our lives?
So several things. First of all, once you've got a lot of student loan debt, you can consolidate it. So if you've got a whole bunch of different federal loans at different interest rates, you can consolidate it into one at the lowest possible interest rate. And a website that can help you there is called consolidatecollege.com. That's the Student Loan Help Center. And maybe they can help you kind of get that under control a little bit. The second thing you can do is to refinance your student loan debt. Now, this is private loans and federal loans combined into one at an interest rate typically about 2 to 3%, a lot lower than you're going to be paying in these other rates. There's a place there that can help you, John, called Credible, and their website is credible.com/money answers. They know it's me that way. You get $200 off your first payment. And they've also got a phone number, 855-870-6005. And what they do is it's a platform. They don't do the lending themselves. They got 5 or 6 different lenders who you look at, and then you get the best deal depending on how much debt you've got and your credit rating and so on. And now you'll pay one debt at 2 or 3% instead of many debts at much higher interest rates. So that's the second thing you can do. The third thing you can do is if you qualify, you can sign up for what's called the IBR program, Income-Based Repayment. So what that is you make the minimum payments on your debt for 10 years, and then after that, no matter how much you owe, the rest of it is forgiven. Now, the qualifications for that is you have to work for the government, state, local, federal, post office, military, any kind of government job, you can qualify for it. Or if you work in the nonprofit sector, you work for a church or a foundation or some kind of a charity, you can qualify for it as well. And there's some specific jobs. For example, if they want a doctor to go work on an Indian reservation where it's hard to get them to do that, they'll qualify them as well. So the IBR program will, in fact, wipe out your debts if you meet these criteria. So I'm not making the debts completely disappear, John, but hopefully consolidating, refinancing, and the IBR program can help some of you folks get that debt under control a little bit.
Where can I find more information on the IBR program? Do you have that on your website, or is that in your book?
I do, and also at the consolidatecollege.com. They can also help you do that. You have to enroll through the Department of Education. Make sure that your payments, the 10 years of payments, are being credited correctly. And then if you do that, yes, after 10 years, all wiped out.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to throw a link. I always take good notes when you're talking because I know when somebody smart is talking, I should do that. I take good notes here. So I've got all of the websites you talked about. We'll throw that in our show notes. So if you're driving somewhere right now and you're going, oh, doggone it, I didn't get this written down. Good news, I did. So we're going to throw that on the show notes page at johnandheidishow.com. And then your website is pretty easy as well, moneyanswers.com, and they can find all kinds of great info there, can't they?
I get emails from you folks all the time, John. I'm glad to help them. I've got a lot of resources and videos. I've even got a YouTube Money Answers channel now, just all kinds of resources. We talk about something different every month, but there's a lot of ways to help people on moneyanswers.com.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to visit again, Jordan. Have a great day.
Thank you, John.
Again, Jordan Goodman, he is America's Money Answers Man, and I've got a link to his site, and I've got all of these different things we talked about in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A law was passed in the state of Nebraska in 1912 to set hard rules of the road. Drivers in the country at night were required to stop every 150 yards and send up a skyrocket, then wait 8 minutes for the road to clear before proceeding cautiously, all while blowing their horn and shooting off flares.
What?
Yeah, that was a law on the books in the state of Nebraska in 1912. So,
Jeepers
yeah.
creepers.
I don't think that law is on the books anymore because We lived in Nebraska for a while, and
I don't remember ever seeing that.
I never shot off a single flare. Fun fact right there, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
It's time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. You ready for this word, Heidi?
I am ready.
Paranymph. Paranymph. What do you think a paranymph is?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Paranymph. Paranymph is a bridesmaid or a best man. A paranymph. A friend who accompanies the bridegroom when he went to bring home the bride. Paranymph. A bridesmaid who escorted the bride to the bridegroom. A paranymph. So that's what
I don't like that word as well.
Me neither. Will you be my paranymph? No. What's wrong with you? I hardly know you.
Sounds like some hideous medieval creature.
Yeah, paranymph sounds like something you'd lock up under the basement stairs. What do you got going on down there? You don't want to know. Trust me. It's my paranymph. It's not good. So there you go. It's today's grandiloquent word is paranymph.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, some weird news for you. On a Wednesday, police say a Maryland man who used the name Venom Man 20 on YouTube pled guilty to 2 counts of illegal possession of venomous snakes after a search of his home turned up 6 rattlesnakes. He's 29. His name is Brandon Joseph Boyles, and he worked at a Catoctin Wildlife Preserve and Zoo, and he took 5 venomous snakes along with 3 alligators and a crocodile, which he owned, when he left in September of 2017. However, he did not have a permit to keep them in his house. He was prohibited from owning dangerous animals in Maryland. Now he's required to perform 20 hours of community service. Police say the crocodile and the alligators and the rattlesnakes were transferred to a Maryland Reptile Conservation Center, and he's in trouble, and the snakes and gators and crocodiles are set free there, I guess. I'm not sure.
I don't understand the fascination with reptiles.
Well,
that's something I just can't
I have friends who have snakes, and I have friends who... I don't have any friends with crocodiles or alligators, but the snake thing... My brother had a snake for a long time. Remember that? It was a gigantic... It was like 10 foot long.
Was that Joe?
Yeah. Don't you remember that?
I don't remember.
When we very first got married, he had a gigantic snake. You don't... How do you forget something like that?
Probably because I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, you want to pet my snake?
It's not like I was holding it or anything.
Let's go take the snake for a walk. I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me as well. Anyway, this has been today's Weird News. Now, your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. Israel Rangel of Santa Ana headed to prison after he took a stolen Ferrari on a 2-week joyride.
2 weeks?
Yeah, all over Southern California. They say last year he stole a Ferrari 458 Spider from a service center in Costa Mesa. He was arrested last November after the Santa Ana police got a response of somebody driving a Ferrari erratically. Police say he asked somebody for gas money to fill up the car. I remember that. We talked about this back in November when he got arrested. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison on Thursday of last week and pleading guilty to theft. So at least he admitted that he did it. He's like, hey, I wanted to go for a joyride, so I did it.
Wow.
So at least he admitted it. There you go.
So he gets to spend 9 years in prison for 2 weeks of...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It must not have been that fun because, that would really not be good.
Wow.
2 weeks on the run in a Ferrari, and then 9 years in prison for that. So, and he couldn't even afford the gas to put in the Ferrari. Hey, can you give me some money for gas so I can drive this
now he's got
stolen
lodging
Ferrari?
taken care of for a while.
He's going to play stay for free
food.
for a while. It's your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Time now for one of my favorite things that we do now. It's called Fake News or Florida.
All righty. I'm ready.
In the beginning, this was controversial. I had somebody that didn't like it, and now I'm getting emails from people. Everybody's loving this. So even people in Florida are sending me stories. So I just want to make sure that, we're not making fun of the great state of Florida. We love Florida. But we do have this thing where it seems like we get a lot of weird stories that come from the state of Florida. So we might as well capitalize on that with Fake News of Florida. So tell me, Heidi, is this fake news or did this really happen in the great state of Florida? A congressional candidate claims she could communicate telepathically with space aliens. Fake news or Florida?
Oh, I'd like to say fake news, but I bet this was Florida.
It was Florida. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. And I've got one other on here as well. Fake news or Florida? A woman battered her boyfriend and trashed the couple's home after her beau declined to cuddle because it was too hot. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
That is true. It was too hot. And
I can see that. I don't want somebody laying all over me when it's hot.
I like to snuggle. My wife does not. She.
I think it's
this
hot.
is Heidi over
You're
here.
like it's 30 degrees in here.
It's freezing.
It's too hot.
I'm chattering my teeth. It's so cold. Like, yeah, I'm way too warm. You're inside of the bed, fatty. Leave me alone. I'll get a link to the story if you want to read all about it in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. That is the world's... I'm sorry, I was reading my thing over here. That is the... I cannot apparently multitask. Odiva is the monthly subscription service for ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. You ready for our news here?
Absolutely.
Do you think the word...
Are you ready for the news?
World's in here somewhere? World is encouraged to ditch trans fats by 2023 thanks to a new plan, Heidi.
Okay.
There's a new initiative from the WHO, that's the World Health Organization. Who? No, WHO. They have the potential to save millions of lives from the danger of unhealthy food. There was, earlier this week, they outlined a plan to urge governments around the world to eliminate trans fats from all ingredients by 2023, and it would save about 10 million people from preventable deaths. That's good news. Industrial-produced trans fats have long been valued for the inexpensive price tag and the resilient shelf life. According to the WHO, the ingredients, they're commonly found in baked and fried foods like donuts and cookies and crackers and pies.
Everything delicious.
Well, but they're saying that now we can keep making these things, and they can still be delicious, but they can be delicious and more nutritious. See? Prepackaged snacks, foods like cooking oils. What else is in here? Restaurants use them quite often. I'm looking to see what else. Street vendors. So... trans fats have been linked to the increased risk of cardiovascular disease, which is the number one leading cause of the world's non-communicable deaths in 2016. So they got a whole list of things on here, but the good news is this. They're saying, as a globe, we're going to work together to make this place a little healthier, and they're going to come up with better ways to do this without the trans fats. So if I can still have yummy stuff, but not have trans fats, they're saying that's what we're going to work on, so...
They better not mess with my French fries.
I'm just saying. I'm reading what I'm... You want to read the story?
Yeah.
It's listed as good news, so it must be good news. And that's what I'm calling it. It's our good news, courtesy of Odiva. All the details on our show notes. I was just going to say it again. I haven't said the word blog in a long time. I think it's an ugly word. Isn't that just a terrible word, blog?
Yes, it is.
So we just call it our show notes page. at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.